Hey guys, what's going on? Today I got some news on the new Ryzen 5 line coming from AMD. If you watch my Ryzen leaked video, I already went over the entire Ryzen 5 line, but unfortunately I didn't have all the information. I basically just knew the name and some of the core counts, but now I have all the information. Late last night, the pricing and release dates were leaked, and a few hours ago AMD actually confirmed that the leaked information is actually 100% correct. But before I get into the details of each processor, I thought I would just outright tell you the release date. These processors are expected to hit the shelf April 11th. So this is pretty close. It's just under a month away. So if you're looking to get a new processor, I think maybe it would be a smart move to wait and see what these CPUs are capable of. It's really interesting actually. Looking at these processors, there are 4 in the Ryzen 5 line. 2 of them are 6-core 12 threads and the other 2 are quad cores with 8 threads. So it's a really interesting how they're going to price this. And the high-end Ryzen 5, the Ryzen 5 1600X is expected to cost $250. This is a really interesting price point. This is the 6-core 12 thread CPU, and the clock speeds are actually pretty impressive as well. It's clocked at 3.6 GHz and has a turbo of 4 GHz. And something to keep in mind is that the entire Ryzen line is unlocked, so you can overclock every one of these CPUs. So I imagine if you pair this with a good cooler, you can expect phenomenal performance from this CPU. And I really think this would be a solid pickup for the budget-minded content creator who doesn't want to spend $300 or more on a processor like the Ryzen 7 1700. I think the 1600X is a very good pickup. The second processor is the Ryzen 5 1600, which is expected to be $219. And as you would expect, this is obviously a shaved down version of the 1600X. Still a 6-core 12-thread CPU, but the clock speeds are lower. It's clocked at 3.2 GHz and turbos to 3.6. This one is pretty interesting because it's $30 cheaper for a 400 MHz difference. I don't really know if that's the right route to go. Obviously, this is not an X SKU processor, so you don't have the additional benefit of extended frequency range. But still looks like it'd be a good CPU for what you're spending. $220 to get a 6-core CPU. It doesn't look bad. I just think the pricing, the gap between the 1600 and the 1600X is weird. Now for the lower end line, the Ryzen 5 1500X is going to be coming in at $189. This is a quad-core 8-thread CPU clocked at 3.5 GHz and turbos up to 3.7. This one I'm a little concerned with. It's weird to have such a low turbo speed. Only a 200 MHz turbo? It's really weird to see that in today's market. And it kind of worries me. It makes me wonder about the overclocking potential of this CPU. But still, even with those concerns, to get a quad core with 8 threads for under $200, I think it's a great deal. And still, 3.5 GHz is very fast. It's just a great base speed. And I don't expect this to be a really big monster, but I think it will be a solid contender to the i5s. That little clock speed issue sort of concerns me. And finally, the last CPU on this list is the Ryzen 5 1400, priced at $169. This one is very interesting because it's priced right between the i5 and the i3s. So I really don't know what this is going to compete with. I mean, it's cheaper than the i5s, but a little bit more than the i3s. So it really nails that middle ground. Regardless, quad-core 8 threads, clocked at 3.2 GHz and turbos up to 3.4. Same issue I have with the 1500X with that clock speed. Obviously you can overclock it, but I'm very concerned with that low turbo speed. But this definitely has my eye because of the pricing. There's no real competitor at that $170 market. So I'm really interested to see how well this CPU in particular performs. And if it performs well, I think this could be a really good budget CPU for under $200. This CPU is probably what's going to excite me the most, which is weird to say about a low-end CPU. But we just have to wait and see how each CPU performs when they come out on April 11th. What do you guys think about the pricing of these CPUs? Do you like them? Do you think they should be a little lower? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, leave it a like and subscribe to the channel. I am Motionless Gaming, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.